So now we want to connect to our database. In here, let me just remove this line. And if you want to connect to the database, we say create a variable with the name of a. $sign in PHP would cause the creation of a variable. So new mysql and in here we enter 4 arguments. The first argument would be the IP address of the remote system. So this is my IP address. And then the user in the MySQL, which is root. After that we type the password, which is nothing, and after that we would just type the name of the database, which is test1. Now I just want to echo the variable a in here. Now if we save it to see the connection would happen or not. Now if we refresh it in here, we get nothing. Looks like the PHP, the MySQL is not also active in here. Let me see the problem. So the first thing in the troubleshooting, you always in the Linux, when you are testing with the browser, you also test in the Linux separately to see what is wrong with that. So I press Ctrl X to exit, and in here we type PHP and then client page.php to see the problem. Now we hit enter, and as you see we have an error, uncut error, class MySQL not found. So we should install MySQL. If we want to do it using the apt-get, we could just say apt-get install php mysql nd. Actually, this is a good example for you. Everything that we are doing in here may be more important than the real section, which is SQL injection, because these are I think the bigger problems that usually people encounter when they want to create websites and then create their VPS. The main reason that usually people don't prefer buying a VPS, and they usually buy or rent the shared hosting, which all the configuration has been already done. So in here we say php mysql nd and we hit enter. So after some time this module would be installed, and so we could use the MySQL. Now in here again I run the above command for php client page.php, and now we hit enter. So we have an error saying that is not allowed to connect to this MySQL server. PHP recoverable fatal error, object of MySQL class could not be converted to a string. Well, the second problem in here, this was a warning. The second problem in here, we know the reason. I just somehow it was deliberately, because in PHP if we want to print other things, which objects that or other things that are not strings, we should use print r instead of echo. So if we have array objects or anything, we just say print r in here instead of echo. Now if we save it, we hit Ctrl X, we execute it again. So now we have connected to it, and as you see we have an object representing the connection to the database. So right now we don't have any problem at the server side. Let's see if we could do the same thing in the browser. So in here we just refresh the page, and no, we don't have anything at the browser side, which means that we have another problem, and that's the connection between the MySQL and PHP and Apache. So we don't have any problem between the MySQL and PHP because I just run the program in the Linux shell and we saw there wasn't any problem. We just connected to database. But when we have a problem by the using of the browser, it means that the connection between that specific module, in this example MySQL, and Apache, maybe at least Apache is not quite done, even though I think there is another problem in creating another user than root. So I just see you in the next lecture, I guess.